Okay.
That's the one that hurts because it got scratched the other day.
Yeah, just little scratches. It's coming off really nicely. Everything's good, honey. You're safe.
23-year-old Alexis Lorenze has been sharing her excruciatingly painful health struggle on social media.
Will my heart ever find
No, they have to do 15.
Will the tears that I saved for years take home?
I think so.
These
My TikTok, I wanted to post an update before I go to bed, since I haven't posted in a few days. Still very swollen. Still looking terrible here. My ears have been going through some crap here. This ear is worse. There's never a moment where I'm not.
Brothers and sisters, the videos you have watched are from Alexis Lorenze's TikTok account, a 23-year-old woman from California who is currently fighting for her life in the hospital after experiencing a severe reaction to vaccines. Alexis, who is being treated at UCI Medical Center in Orange, California, alleges that the hospital forced her to receive 3 different vaccines simultaneously as part of her treatment for paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, PNH, a rare and life-threatening blood disorder. Alexis and her family had previously avoided vaccines due to their religious beliefs, but the hospital insisted on administering them. Recently, new videos have surfaced showing the toll this ordeal has taken on Alexis, including significant damage to her ear. In a video shared on her behalf, she expressed her concerns. One of the doctors mentioned that I might need plastic surgery to reconstruct my ears. In an earlier report, Alexis gave UCI Medical Center permission to release her medical records and discuss her case with Fox 11. However, as of September 24th, despite repeated requests, the hospital's media relations department has not responded to inquiries regarding her condition. Sadly, Alexis is just one of many victims who have experienced unjust medical treatment, particularly when it comes to forced vaccinations. This type of treatment is both unethical and unprofessional, disregarding patient autonomy and personal beliefs. Her case highlights the need for greater accountability and ethical standards in medical practices involving vaccines. Please share Alexis's story to your family and friends, and let's pray for her successful healing and recovery. Hi, I am letting you know that I am sharing this vision with other channels as well. I had a vision on October 6th, 2024. My name is Esther Vasquez, and I believe that God revealed something very important to me through an apocalyptic vision when I was attending church that Sunday. I saw a new global pandemic that will emerge in the future, when exactly I cannot tell you. But this pandemic will be worse than the previous outbreaks. This time, it will be another coronavirus, but more aggressive and deadly. I saw that this coronavirus will attack the heart and cause a lot of damage to the heart before attacking other parts of the body. In my vision, I first saw dark-skinned people suffering from this new strain of coronavirus. I am not sure if they were Africans from the African continent or the dark-skinned people from Middle Eastern countries. All I know is that their skin is dark, and many of these people died from the strain. I saw these people having very bad nosebleeds and high fever, and many of them died as a result of this virus. One thing is clear in this vision. This virus was not the product of a laboratory experiment. It is a real coronavirus that God allowed to surface and infect humanity as part of his judgment over the nations for their stubbornness and unbelief in God. I saw that the virus spread across cities and provinces and then all across the country. It spread rapidly and many people began to perish, especially those with compromised immune systems. The elderly and those already suffering from respiratory illnesses were the first to go. I saw hospitals overflowing, people gasping for air as their lungs failed them. This new strain first attacked the circulatory system, and then the respiratory system. People with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, died in a matter of hours and days. Children, too, were affected, developing severe rashes, high fever, and pneumonia so fast that some did not make it to the hospital. People were coughing up blood and collapsing due to pulmonary arrest. It was terrifying to watch, and I felt it in my spirit that it would soon come to pass. I saw that the states of California, Florida, North and South Carolina, Texas, and Louisiana were hit the hardest. Thousands of lives were lost in a matter of weeks. Hospitals overflowed, morgues were packed, and the air was filled with panic and grief. In California, I saw long lines of ambulances outside of hospitals, unable to unload patients because there simply wasn't enough space. Medical tents were set up in parking lots, and yet, it still wasn't enough. I saw government officials in California resigning from their position because of severe criticism and pressure from the masses who were demanding for answers and an immediate cure. In Florida, the heat made things worse. The elderly, particularly those in nursing homes, were dropping like flies. It was especially haunting to witness how quickly the virus overwhelmed these places. In just a matter of weeks, thousands of people had died. The speed of the virus made it nearly impossible for authorities to keep up. Bodies were piling up faster than they could be buried. I saw images of mass graves being dug, a scene reminiscent of wartime tragedies. In Texas, I saw communities where entire families were wiped out, including some famous Asian and American families who have millions of followers on social media. I saw the love of many Christians grow cold, especially when they lost their loved ones in a matter of days and weeks. I saw preachers no longer preaching in their churches for the fear of dying from this coronavirus. They stopped their worship services, even some famous Christian figures on social media. I saw conspiracy theories also began to fill social media platforms. I saw them getting out of hand to the point that the government had to make several announcements in the mainstream media to ignore these conspiracies and trust the official reports of the government instead. I then saw one American guy who began an online revolution disappear and was found dead several weeks later. It was all blamed on the deadly coronavirus. Lockdowns were imposed all over the world, but this time, many people reacted differently. I saw massive protests starting in Europe and spreading across Asia and the Americas. Even in Africa, people rose up, though the protests there were not as violent as those in Europe. One African president will die because of this coronavirus, and many people will be terrified and call it the judgment of God over that country. Thousands died in these protests, people clashing with authorities as they refused to stay inside. Many believed their freedoms were being taken away, and the chaos only made things worse. In the middle of all this, the virus kept mutating. Each new strain seemed worse than the last, and soon governments started talking about forced vaccinations. This led to even more severe riots, especially when people saw the vaccines as rushed and untrustworthy. I saw news reports flashing across screens, showing the faces of people marching in anger. One of the most vivid parts of the vision was when a famous female celebrity died from the virus. Her death shook the world, and many people mourned her for months. I am not naming names, but she is a famous singer here in America, blessed with children and a husband that had his fair share of controversies over the years. It was as if her passing gave a face to the tragedy. After her death, more people began to accept the vaccine, hoping it would prevent further loss. Another thing is, this female celebrity who died was also prophesied to die by another prophet in YouTube. Anyways, like I said, I noticed a lot of conspiracy theories circulating all over Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Everybody wanted clear answers. People were crying and searching for sympathy because of losing a loved one in a matter of days. Some content creators claimed the virus was not natural, but a biological weapon, lab-made to control the population. I saw that their channels were terminated, and their voices were silenced. I saw people participating in online forums, making videos and sharing documents, all saying this was a deliberate act. I saw government officials denying it, but the damage had already been done. Distrust grew, and people no longer knew who to believe. During this time, Christian channels started getting terminated as well. I saw messages of faith being cut off, leaving many believers feeling silenced. Christians and liberals clashed in the streets, each side feeling they were fighting for their truth. Amidst the chaos, I saw hatred for Israel rise. People began harassing more and more Jews in America, Mexico, and other countries, blaming them for various global issues. It was a really dark time for the entire world. I saw Brazil getting severely hit by this coronavirus, and millions of people died in just 6 months. The whole nation was in chaos during this time. I also saw China making a bold move against Taiwan, an unexpected event during this time of global medical emergency. The rumors of World War III happening soon became more real, and tensions escalated. It felt like the world was on the brink of something huge, something apocalyptic, and it was no longer Netflix. The end of my vision was terrifying. A massive earthquake, a 9.0 megaquake, hit Japan. The ground shook violently and buildings crumbled. The quake triggered other earthquakes worldwide, especially along the major fault lines in the United States. California was devastated, as were other parts of the world. Hundreds of thousands of people died in these natural disasters. It felt like the earth itself was groaning under the weight of everything happening. I then came out of my vision and I was very weak on my knees. I collapsed on the floor and it took me an hour or so to recover. Everybody asked me what happened, but I did not tell them everything that I saw. I went home, opened my Bible, and wept for hours. I asked God in prayer to cancel this vision, to stop this new pandemic from happening. He gave me very specific verses as an answer to my plea. It was Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, where he instructs his followers to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. In the face of danger and deception, we are called to be both shrewd and pure-hearted. This pandemic, the protests, the chaos, it felt like a test of our wisdom and innocence. He told me that we need to be aware of the dangers, but not lose our faith or our love for others. Jesus also spoke to me of the end times in Matthew chapter 24, where he warned us that there would be wars, rumors of wars, famines, and earthquakes in various places. He said these were just the beginning of the birth pains. As I recalled those events unfolding in my vision, I could feel the truth of his words. The world is moving closer to this brand new pandemic, and we must be prepared because God is not going to change his mind about this. In the face of all this suffering, I remembered the eternal and never-failing love of Christ. In John chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus tells us, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." His love is greater than any virus, earthquake, or war. He promised to be with us always, even to the end of the age. No matter how dark things get, we can cling to the hope that he will rescue us. Just as God rescued his people in times past, he will rescue us again. Throughout the Bible, we see examples of God saving his people in the midst of disaster. In the story of Noah, God saved Noah and his family from the flood, Genesis chapter 7. In the book of Exodus, God rescued the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, parting the Red Sea to deliver them, Exodus chapter 14. And in the New Testament, God sent his Son, Jesus, to rescue us from sin and death, John chapter 3, verse 16. He is a God who saves. However, we also have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and each other. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we must treat them with respect and care. During the pandemic, I believe it's important to be cautious and discerning, especially when it comes to decisions about our health. There have been concerns about the side effects of vaccines. While vaccines have helped save lives in many situations, there have also been reports and studies that highlight some adverse reactions. For example, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, in the United States, has documented cases where individuals have experienced serious side effects after receiving certain vaccines. Some research has suggested links between vaccines and various health issues, though these studies are often hotly debated. I believe it's essential to pray for wisdom and to make informed choices. As Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." Thank you so much, Mr. Nathan, for sharing my vision. I pray God continues to use your channel as a platform for small voices like ours. God bless. Greetings. My name is David. I'm Nigerian and 16 years old. I had this dream I would like to share with you. I woke up in the middle of the night to turn off my MP3 player, which had been left on. Initially, I had fallen asleep with my legs crossed. After turning off the MP3 and trying to go back to sleep, I suddenly felt something urging me, "Do not cross your legs." Before that, I couldn't recall any dreams, but this time was different. As I lay there, consciously keeping my legs uncrossed, I began to have a vivid, detailed dream. When I woke up, I remembered every detail, and it became clear to me that this was not just a dream. It was a vision from God. I realized that God Himself had instructed me not to cross my legs as part of His message. In the vision, even though the scenes were shifting rapidly, I understood everything clearly. I saw soldiers of the Antichrist moving from house to house, forcing people to accept the mark of the beast. This mark wasn't just a symbol. It was a tiny microchip injected into people's left hands. I witnessed jets launching missiles at the homes of those who refused the mark, destroying their property and leaving them in misery. But the ones who took the mark faced an even more terrifying fate. As soon as the microchip was injected, they collapsed, lifeless, and were thrown into trucks like discarded objects. It was as if something had been taken from them, their soul or essence. Those who accepted the mark seemed hollow, like puppets controlled by an unseen force, moving without free will. The persecution was intense. Those of us who refused the mark couldn't buy anything because we were cut off from the system. We were starving, hiding, and on the run. Even using our phones was dangerous because they could track us and force us to accept the mark. I saw demonic forces emerging through the very phones we were using. These demons were in their true, terrifying form, possessing those who had already taken the mark. We had no resources left, no food, no safety, nothing. Eventually, starvation overtook us. I knew we were about to die from hunger. At that moment, my soul left my body and everything became quiet and peaceful. The scene shifted, and I found myself standing before the Creator, the one true God. I was being judged, and to my amazement, I was found worthy of the kingdom of God. As soon as the judgment was passed, my clothes transformed into a brilliant white garment. The transformation was incredible. My earthly body became larger, radiant, like the angels of God. I had received my heavenly body, much greater than the lifeless shell I had left behind. I stepped into the kingdom of God, overwhelmed with joy. Words cannot describe the beauty of that place. Beautiful is an understatement. It was beyond anything I could imagine. God Himself welcomed me into this glorious place, and I was filled with indescribable happiness. When I woke up, the first thing I did was pray. As I prayed, I heard the loud, eerie sound of an animal crying or screaming outside. It was around 4 a.m., and the noise startled me. I thanked Jesus because, for a long time, I had been asking God to show me a vision, something to help me understand what is to come. That night, He answered me. He told me not to cross my legs while sleeping, something I normally did, and when I obeyed, He revealed to me what the end times would look like. I now realize that there may be small actions, like the way we position ourselves, that can affect how God communicates with us. God's instructions to me were simple, yet profound. By following His guidance, He opened my eyes to the events of the future, showing me the final trials we will face and the glory that awaits those who remain faithful. Thank you, Jesus, for answering my prayer and revealing these truths to me. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in our next video.